Hare Krishna, Prabhuji and Mataji, another pronouns all glory Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Anybody likes to read this Japa affirmation? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dhanavad Prabhu. I have received and feel Krishna's presence, mercy and love in his holy name. Hello, mercy, love and blessings to come to you naturally to the holy name, rather than seeking to force nectar out of the holy name. In other words, do not struggle to create mercy and love while chanting, but instead allow yourself to bathe in and appreciate the mercy and love that already exists within the holy name. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. So already exists within the holy name, that mercy, right? Mercy already there. You cannot artificially do not struggle to create mercy or love while chanting, but instead. So allow yourself to bathe in and appreciate the mercy and love that already exists within the holy name. We must have faith and confidence in the chanting the holy names of the Lord, because it's already mercy, already inbuilt. Mercy is already there. We just sincerely chant with focus and attention, attentiveness and focus, right? So already there, already blessings also there within the holy name, because Krishna no difference, right? Krishna non different from his holy name. Yesterday we read this one, fifth one. So we have to take we have to be in a good confidence that holy name is going to save from all obstacles in my life, especially 4 obstacles. Okay, yeah. Let us begin with Mangalacharana prayer. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 6, entitled as The Glories of Sri Advaita Acharya. Glories of Sri Advaita Acharya. Chapter 6 of Adilila, Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila. We read up to 79 verse. Very elaborately, Prabhupada described about the expansions of Rudra. That is means Lord Shiva and the correct understanding of Lord Shiva. Okay, he's taking an example of milk and yogurt. That's where he has explained. So let us go to next verse. 680. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. He also desires only to be a servant of Lord Krishna. Sri Sadasiva always says, I am a servant of Lord Krishna. Intoxicated by ecstatic love for Lord Krishna, he becomes overwhelmed and incessantly dances without clothing. All the emotions, whether those of father, mother, teacher, or friend, are full of sentiments of servitude. That is the nature of love of Krishna. That is the nature of love of Krishna. 5 primary relationship. Through that relationship, we can do service. Lord Krishna, the one master and the Lord of the universe, is worthy of being served by everyone. Indeed, everyone is but a servant of his servants. That same Lord Krishna is descended as Lord Chaitanya, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everyone, therefore, is a servant. Yeah. Mother, you can start. Deepa Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah, can
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Some accept him, whereas others do not. Yet everyone is his servant. One who does not accept him, however, will be ruined by his sinful activities. Purport. When a living entity forgets his constitutional position, he prepares himself to be an enjoyer of the material resources. Sometimes he is also misguided by the thought that service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead is not absolute engagement. In other words, he thinks that there are many other engagements for a living entity besides the service of the Lord. Such a foolish person does not know that in any position he either directly or indirectly engages in activities of the service to the Supreme Lord. Actually, if a person does not engage in the service of the Lord, all inauspicious activities encumber him, because service to the Supreme Lord, Lord Chaitanya, is the constitutional position of the infinitesimal living entities. Because the living entity is infinitesimal, the allurement of material enjoyment attracts him, and he tries to enjoy matter, forgetting his constitutional position. But when his dormant Krishna consciousness is awakened, he no longer engages in the service of matter, but engages in the services of the Lord. In other words, when one is forgetful of his constitutional position, he appears in the position of the Lord of material nature. Even at the time, he remains a servant of the Supreme Lord, but in an unqualified or contaminated state. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Constitutional position. You know, right? Constitutional position. 3 days. How many times? 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Srila Prabhupada. 1, 2, 3. What is that constitutional position? Hare Krishna.
And the constitutional position is as the servant of the Lord.
Gopi Bhartur Padakamalayur. This is in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Padakamalayur. Dasa, 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 Anudasa. Servant of, servant of, servant of, servant. Either we are servant of Maya or servant of Krishna. Anyway, we are at any point of time, we never ever be in master or boss position now. Right. Constitution, another verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Jivera Swarupahai, Krishnera
Nityadas.
Nityadas, always. Eternal servant of Lord Krishna. Right. Yeah, Samyukta Mataji, please read some of the verses.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I am a servant of Lord Chaitanya, a servant of Lord Chaitanya. I am a servant of Lord Chaitanya and a servant of his servants.
Chaitanyera Dasa Muni, Chaitanyera Dasa, Chaitanyera Dasa Muni, Tanra Dasera Dasa, Dasa Dasa Dasa. Seva Adhikara. In our Bhagavatam plus I have explained, right? Seva. That is our. How can we, get the mercy of Krishna? What is our position? Seva Adhikara through the service. That is our Adhikara. That is our position, safest position. Yes. Continue, Mataji, some of the verses.
Yes, Prabhuji. Saying this, Advaita Prabhu dances and loudly sings. Then at the next moment, he quietly sits down. The source of the sentiment of servitude is indeed Lord Balrama. The plenary expansions who follow him are all influenced by that ecstasy. Lord Sankarshana, who is one of his incarnations, always considers himself a devotee.
Yeah, again, Sankarshana form. The service, yeah.
Another of his incarnations, Lakshmana, who is very beautiful and opulent, always serves Lord Rama. The Vishnu who lies on the casual ocean is an incarnation of Lord Sankarshana, and accordingly, the emotion of being a devotee is always present in his heart. Advaita Acharya is a separate expansion of him. He always engages in devotional service with his thoughts, words, and actions.
Manasa Vacha Karmana. Manasa, Vacha, and Karmana. Thoughts, words, and deeds or actions.
By his
Read.
words, okay, Prabhuji. By his words, he declares, I am a servant of Lord Chaitanya. Thus, with his mind, he always thinks, I am his devotee. With his body, he worshipped the Lord by offering Ganga's water and Tulsi leaves, and by preaching devotional service, he delivered the entire universe.
With the, see, this is what he has done. Advaita Acharya done. With his body, he worshipped the Lord by offering Ganges water and Tulsi leaves. And by preaching devotional service, he delivered the entire universe. Third one, Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, then Advaita Acharya, and Gadadhar Pandit, Srivas Thakur, Sri Panchatattva. Yeah, thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
I'm seeing, okay. Okay. Lavanya, you want to read?
Yeah, which one?
This one, 95. This one.
Shesha. Okay, Hare Krishna. Shesha Sankarshana, who holds all the planets on his head, expand himself in different bodies to render service to Lord Krishna. These are all incarnations of Lord Krishna, yet we always find that they act as devotees. The scriptures call them incarnations as the devotees, Bhakta Avatara. The position of being such an incarnation is above all others. The Supreme Personality of Godhead appears in different incarnations, but his appearance in the role of a devotee is more beneficial to the conditioned souls than the other incarnations. With all their opulences, sometimes a conditioned soul is bewildered when he tries to understand the incarnations of Godhead with full opulence. Lord Krishna appeared and performed many uncommon activities, and some materialists misunderstood him. But in his appearance as Lord Chaitanya, he did not show any much of his opulences, and therefore fewer conditioned souls were bewildered. Misunderstanding the Lord may fools consider themselves incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But the result is that after leaving the material body, they enter the species of jackals. Persons who cannot understand the real significance of an incarnation must attain such lower species of life as punishment. Conditioned souls who are puffed up by false egoism and who try to become one with the Supreme Lord become Mayavadis.
Yeah. Thank you. Pretty straightforward purport. Yeah. Raju Prabhu, please continue.
Hare Prabhuji, I went down.
Oh, Prabhu, you went down?
I went down.
Okay. Okay.
Translation.
Reading mode. Okay. Akinchan Prabhu, please go ahead.
No. Now I can read, Prabhuji. I thought earlier you called me.
Acha. Go ahead.
Translation. Lord Krishna is the source of all incarnations, and all others are his parts and parcels of partial incarnations. We find that the whole and the part behave has a superior and inferior. Translation. The source of all incarnation has the emotions of a superior. When he considers himself as the master, and he has the emotions of an inferior when he considers himself as a devotee. Purport. A fraction of a particular thing is called part, and that from which the fraction is distinguished as called the whole. Therefore, the fraction or part is included within the whole. The Lord is whole, and the devotee is the part or fractional part. That is the relationship between the Lord and the devotee. There are also gradations of devotees who are calculated is greater or lesser. When a devotee is great, is called Prabhu, and when he is lesser is called Bhakta or a devotee. The supreme whole is Krishna, and Baladeva and all Vishnu incarnations are his fractions. Lord Krishna is therefore conscious of his superior position, and all Vishnu incarnations are conscious of their position as devotees. Hare Krishna.
While reading, are you remembering Sloka Prabhu? Whole. 3 times. Yeah. Right. Om Purnamadam Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya.
Purnameva Sishyate.
Very good. Okay, thank you, Prabhu. Kinchan Prabhu, please read this one. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. 1 second. The pastime, the portion translation and purport by the Prabhupada. The position of being a devotee is higher than that of equality with Lord Krishna. For the devotees are dearer to the Lord Krishna than his own self. Purport: the conception of one with the Supreme Personality of Godhead is inferior to that of the eternal service to the Lord, because Lord Krishna is more affectionate to devotees than his personal self. In Srimad Bhagavatam, 9th canto, 4th chapter, 68th verse, the Lord clearly says, Sadaivo Hridayam Mahyam Sadhunam Hridayam Tvaham Mad Anyat Te Na Janati Naham Tebhyo Marag Api. The devotees are my heart, and I am the heart of my devotees. My devotees do not know anyone but me. Similarly, I do not know anyone but my devotees. This is the intimate relationship between the Lord and his devotees.
Master, super, na? Super sloka, right? Sadhvo Hrudayam Mahyam Sadhunam Hrudayam Tvaham Mad Anyatena Jananti Naham Tebhyo Managhapi. Super. Are my devotees are my heart, and I am heart of my devotees. My devotees do not know anyone but me. Similarly, I do not know anyone but my devotees. That's where in eternal world, that's the thing. Who are there in eternal world? This is a loving exchanges. Right. Saraswati Mother, I have seen you. You wanted to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Please go ahead and read.
Lord Krishna considered his devotees greater than himself. In this connection, the scriptures provide an abundance of evidence. O Uddhava, neither Brahma nor Shankara nor Sankarshana nor Lakshmi nor even my own self is as dear to me as you.
Yeah,
this text is from Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 14th chapter, 15th shloka.
Thank you.
Okay.
Let me read some again. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The sweetness of Lord Krishna is not to be tasted by those who consider themselves equal to Krishna. It is to be tasted only through the sentiment of servitude. Again, the taste gets only through service. This conclusion of the revealed scriptures is also a revelation of experienced devotees. Fools and rascals, however, cannot understand the opulences of devotional emotions. Only Prabhupada can write these kind of words. Fools and rascals. And in his lectures also, it's a good anger is a rascaldom. Murkhatvam. When a person is liberated in the Sarupya form of liberation, having a spiritual form exactly like Vishnu, it is not possible for him to relish the relationship of Krishna's personal associates in their exchanges of mellows. The devotees of Krishna, however, in their loving relationship with Krishna, sometimes forget their own identities. Sometimes they think themselves one with Krishna and yet relish still greater transcendental mellow in that way. People in general, because of their foolishness only, try to become masters of everything, forgetting the transcendental mellow of servitorship to the Lord. When a person is actually advanced in spiritual understanding, however, he can accept the transcendental servitorship of the Lord without hesitation. Without hesitation. So whoever comes to ISKCON, first they wanted to, their consciousness has to be prepared to be dash. Prepare to be
Purified.
Servant, Prabhuji.
prepare to be servant. That's the okay. Mother, you go ahead. Deepa Mother.
Yes, Raj. Translation. Baldeva, Lakshmana, Advaita Acharya, Lord Nityananda, Lord Sesha, and Lord Sankarshana taste the nectarian mellows of the transcendental bliss of Lord Krishna by recognizing themselves as being his devotees and servants. They're all mad with that happiness and they know nothing else. What to speak of others, even Lord Krishna himself becomes thirsty to taste his own sweetness. He tries to taste his own sweetness, but he cannot do without accepting the emotions of a devotee. Lord Sri Krishna wanted to relish the transcendental mellows of a devotee, and therefore he accepted the role of a devotee by appearing as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Samyukta Mataji, please.
Therefore, Lord Krishna accepted the position of a devotee and descended in the form of Lord Chaitanya, who is complete in every respect. He tastes his own sweetness through the various emotions of a devotee. I have formerly explained this conclusion. Purport: Lord Chaitanya, who is known as Sri Gaurahari, is complete in relishing all the different mellows, namely neutrality, servitorship, fraternity, parental affection, and conjugal love. By accepting the ecstasy of different grades of devotees, he is complete in relishing all the mellows of these relationships. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Five primary rasas. Again, it's describing there. Okay. Lavanya, please read this.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. All the incarnations are entitled to the emotions of devotees. There is no higher bliss than this.
Yeah.
I'm not able to see the screen.
Prabhu, no. See, no?
Yeah.
Purport also.
Oh, okay. All the different incarnations of Lord Vishnu have the right to play the roles of servitors of Lord Krishna by descending as devotees. When an incarnation gives up the understanding of his godhood and plays the part of a servitor, he enjoys a greater taste of transcendental mellows than when he plays the part of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Thank you. Yeah. Raju Prabhu, please read.
Translation. The original Bhakta Avatara is Sankarshana. Sri Advaita is counted among such incarnations. Purport. Although Sri Advaita Prabhu belongs to the Vishnu category, he displayed the servitorship to the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as one of his associates. When Lord Vishnu appears as a servitor, he is called an incarnation of the devotee of Lord Krishna. Sri Sankarshana, who is an incarnation of Vishnu in the spiritual sky known as the Greater Vaikuntha, is the chief of the quadruple incarnation of and is the original incarnation of a devotee. Lord Mahavishnu, who is lying on the casual ocean, he is a manifestation of Sankarshana. He is the original personality of Godhead who glances over the material and efficient causes of the cosmic manifestation. Advaita Prabhu is accepted as the incarnation of Mahavishnu. All the plenary manifestations of Sankarshana are indirect expansions of Lord Krishna. The consideration also makes Advaita Prabhu an eternal servitor of Gaura Krishna. Therefore, he is accepted as a devotee incarnation. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Akinjan Prabhu. Let us read some couple more minutes.
The glories of Advaita Acharya are boundless, for his sincere vibrations brought about Lord Chaitanya's descent upon this earth. He liberated the universe by preaching Sankirtana. Thus the people of the world received the treasure of love of Godhead through the mercy of Sri Advaita. Who can describe the unlimited glories of Advaita Acharya? I write here as much as I have known from the great authorities. I offer my obeisances 10 million times to the lotus feet of Sri Advaita Acharya. Please do not take offense at this. Your glories are as fathomless as the millions of oceans and seas. Speaking of its measure is a great offense indeed.
Unlimited glories. Okay.
All the glories to Advaita Acharya.
in
All
this
glories
glory-
to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the superior Lord Nityananda.
Sing
Jai Jaya
this.
Sri Advaita Acharya. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Arya.
All glories to Advaita Acharya. All glories to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the superior Lord Nityananda.
Nityananda.
Yeah. Who else there?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, shall I read?
Oh, you are back on reading? Please read. Please.
Yeah, yes, Prabhuji. Translation.
We are missing in your voice. Read.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thus, in 2 verses, I have described the truth concerning Advaita Acharya. Now, O devotees, please hear about the 5 truths, Panchatattva. 1 minute, Prabhuji, let me just rotate it.
With this chapter also done.
Okay, Prabhuji, 1 minute, Prabhuji. Oh, okay, I think it's not moving. Okay. Translation. Praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunatha, always desiring their mercy. I, Krishna Dasa, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charamrita following their footsteps. Purport. Thus end the Bhakti Vedanta purports of Sri Chaitanya Charamrita Adi Leela, 6th chapter, describing the glories of Sri Advaita Acharya. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Well, tomorrow we'll read only translations and go ahead with that discussion. Raju Prabhu, please share that, okay? Raju Prabhu.
Sure, Prabhuji. Sure, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for reading Prabhuji's and Mataji's. Now our exercise, okay? We'll do that. So with Subbarao, we'll start with Subbarao Prabhu. Subbarao Prabhu ki jai.
Hare Rama.
మీరే స్టార్ట్ చేయాలి ప్రభు. మీరేం
నేనే స్టార్ట్ చేయాలి. ఇట్స్ శ్లోకాల ప్రభు.
శ్లోకాలు అంతే ఇంకా మీదనే స్టార్ట్ చేద్దాం ఈరోజు. షేర్ చేస్తుండండి.
It's okay, Prabhu. I can start reading from what I have.
You can do anything, Prabhu.
Bhagavad Gita 2.7. Karpanya dosho pahata svabhava Ruchami tvam dharma sammuda cheta Yachreyasyan nishchitam bruhitan me Sishyasteham sadimam tvam prapannam. Now I'm confused about my duty and I have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition, I'm asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I'm your disciple and the soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. Hare Krishna. Bhagavad Gita 2. Sorry, Prabhu.
ట్యూన్ తోని నేర్చుకుంటున్నారు ఎట్లా అంటే మీరు
ట్యూన్ మారిపోయిందా ప్రభు?
పాటలాగా కార్పణ్య దోషోపహత స్వభావ రుచామి త్వం ధర్మ
సమ్మూఢ చేత నిశ్చితం బ్రూహి తన్మే శిష్యస్తేహం సాధిమాం త్వం ప్రపన్నం.
సాంగ్ లా ఆఫ్ కోర్స్ భగవద్గీత
సాంగ్ లో రావట్లేదా ప్రభు? వస్తుందా?
కింద
చేంజ్ అయింది. ఓకే ఓకే
ప్రభుజీ సాంగ్ లాగా నేర్చుకుంటే ఏంటంటే గుర్తుంటది ప్రభుజీ. మీరు ఎప్పుడు చెప్పాలనుకుంటే అదే విధంగా చెప్తారు. నేర్చుకున్నట్టుంటే మళ్ళీ మధ్యలో పోతే మనకు రాదు.
ఒకసారి మీరు చదవండమ్మా మాతాజీ. మీరు కరెక్ట్ గా చదువుతున్నారు యాక్చువల్ గా. మీరు దీపా మాతాజీ
కార్పణ్య దోషం అదొకసారి అంటే ఇదే మీటర్ అవసరం లేదు కానీ ఏదైనా పర్లేదు. మీరు సాంగ్ లాగా నేర్చుకుంటే మనకు పాత సాంగ్స్ ఎట్లా గుర్తుంటే అట్లా గుర్తుంటాయి ప్రభుజీ. శ్లోకం లాగా అంటే మర్చిపోతాం.
సరే ఒక్కసారి మీరు చదవండి అమ్మా, మేము చదువుతాం.
శోభహత స్వభావ పృచ్ఛామి త్వాం ధర్మ సమ్మూఢచేత యశ్రేయస్య నిశ్చితం బ్రూహి తన్మే శిష్యస్తేహం సాధిమాం త్వాం ప్రపన్నం.
వన్ మోర్ టైం మాతాజీ.
కార్పణ్యదోషో మహతా స్వభావ పృచ్ఛామి త్వాం ధర్మ సమ్మూఢచేత యశ్రేయస్య నిశ్చితం బ్రూహి తన్మే శిష్యస్తేహం సాధిమాం త్వాం ప్రపన్నం.
కార్పణ్యదోషోపహత స్వభావ
పృచ్ఛామి త్వాం ధర్మ సమ్మూఢచేత యశ్రేయస్య నిశ్చితం బ్రూహి తన్మే శిష్యస్తేహం సాధిమాం త్వాం ప్రపన్నం. Yes, Prabhuji.
We'll try, Prabhu. Try, Mataji. Can you just send me some audio files, Mataji? Your files, your recording, just the 5 slokas.
Yes, Mataji. Prabhuji,
నాకు పర్సనల్ పెడతారమ్మా. థ్యాంక్ యూ.
Yes, మాతాజీ దగ్గర ఉంటది మా ప్రభుజీ. మేము మాతాజీ గ్రూప్ ఉంది మాకు.
అవును అనుకోండి, ఆవిడ నాకు దొరకరు.
Yes, Prabhuji. I'll send Prabhuji.
ప్రభు మీరు
భగవద్గీతలో 2 మీటర్ అంటే మాక్సిమం ఒక్కొక్కరు ఒక్కొక్క మీటర్ ఫాలో అవుతారు ప్రభుజీ. సో మా ప్రభుజీ నాకు ఫస్ట్ ఏం చెప్పారంటే 2 మీటర్లు ఫాలో కావాలి. ఈ 4 లైన్లు ఉన్నదేమో ఇలా చదవాలి, మామూలుగా ఏమో ఇప్పుడు
అమ్మ నాకు అంత కాంప్లికేటెడ్ వద్దు, మీరు పాడివ్వండి నాకు, నేను ట్రై చేస్తాను.
చెప్తున్నా ప్రభుజీ, మీరు 4 లైన్లు ఉన్నది ఒకలాగా పాడాలి, 2 లైన్లు ఉన్నది ఒకలాగా పాడాలి, అంతే. దట్స్ ఇట్.
చేయండి ప్రభు. యా
try. Want me to try one more, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
లేదు
Gita 2.13. Dehinosmin yada dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tada dehantara prapti dhirastratanam muhyati dhirastatra namuhyati. మీరు ఇంగ్లీష్ చూపెడుతున్నా, నేను పక్కన తెలుగు రాసుకుని తెలుగులో చదువుతున్నాను ప్రభు. As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Next word change.
Next word try cheyamantaru. Okay.
Anni
na jayate mriyate va kadachit nayam bhutva bhavit. అమ్మ నాకు రావట్లేదు మాతాజీ, మీరు ఒక్కసారి చదవండి. రావణ్య మాతాజీ
ఉన్నావా? రావణ్య.
నా జాయతే మ్రియతే వా కదాచిత్ నాయం భూత్వా భవితా వా న భూయా అజో నిత్యా శాశ్వతోయం పురాణో నా హన్యతే హన్యమానే శరీరే. నా జాయతే
మ్రియతే వా కదాచిత్ నాయం భూత్వా భవితా. ఓకే చదవండి.
ప్రభుజీ ట్రై చేయండి.
నాయం భూత్వా భవితా వా న భూయా అజో నిత్యా శాశ్వతోయం పురాణో నా హన్యతే హన్యమానే శరీరే. నా హన్యతే హన్యమానే శరీరే.
మీరు ప్రీచింగ్ లో చెప్పాలి, నా హన్యతే హన్యమానే శరీరాన్ని పాడుతూ చెప్తే మీకు ఆ లైన్ చూడండి. నా హన్యతే హన్యమానే శరీరం. When body is soul is
హన్యమానే శరీరే.
Yes, Prabhuji.
భూత్వా భవితా వా నా భూయా నా జాయతే మ్రియతే వా కదాచిత్ నాయం భూత్వా భవితా వా నా భూయా అజో నిత్యా శాశ్వతోయం పురాణో నా హన్యతే హన్యమానే శరీరే. For the soul, there is neither birth nor death at any time. He has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, everlasting, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. Correct.
Hare Krishna.
भोगैश्वर्य प्रसक्तानां तायापहृतचेतसं व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धि समधौ न विधेयते.
ప్రభుజీ దీని మీటర్ మామూలుగా ఉంటది మీరు
అవును.
చదవండి.
చదవండి అమ్మ, మీరు చదవండి ఒకసారి.
ఇది చిన్న లైన్లు ఉన్నాయి కదా, రెండు లైన్లు చిన్న ఉంది కదా, అది పెద్ద శ్లోకం అప్పుడు అట్లా.
భోగైశ్వర్య చదవండి అమ్మ.
భోగైశ్వర్య ప్రసక్తానాం తాయాపాహృత చేతసాం వ్యవసాయాత్మికా బుద్ధి సమాధౌ న విధీయతే. అదొకటి అట్లా.
భోగైశ్వర్య ప్రసక్తానాం తాయాపహృత చేతనాం వ్యవసాయాత్మిక బుద్ధి సముధౌ న విధేయతే.
భోగైశ్వర్య ప్రసక్తానాం తయాపహృత చేతసాం వ్యవసాయాత్మిక బుద్ధి సమాధౌ న విధీయతే. భోగైశ్వర్య ప్రసక్తానాం
తాయాపహృత చేతసాం వ్యవసాయాత్మిక బుద్ధి సముధౌ న విధేయతే.
లాంగ్ వస్తే లాంగ్ చదవాలి ప్రభుజీ పైన.
Okay, Prabhu, time.
The minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination for devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place.
Yeah.
Shall we go
నిన్న
next
ప్రాక్టీస్
one?
ఇది ఇట్లా ఉంటుంది, చిన్నదే కదా, ఇది కూడా చిన్న శ్లోకం. ప్రకృతే క్రియమానాని గుణైకర్మాణి సర్వశః అహంకార విమూఢాత్మ కర్తాహం ఇతి మన్యతే. అట్లా చిన్నగా.
ప్రకృతే క్రియమాణాని గుణైకర్మాణి సర్వస అహంకార విమూఢాత్మ కర్తాహమితి మన్యతే. ప్రకృతే క్రియమాణాని గుణైకర్మాణి సర్వస అహంకార విమూఢాత్మ కర్తాహమితి మన్యతే. The spirit soul, bewildered by the influence of false ego, thinks himself the doer of activities that are in actuality carried out by the three modes of material nature. Hare Krishna.
5 slokas. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Practice చేయండి.
Sorry for everybody to keeping up with me.
It's okay, doesn't matter. It's okay, Prabhu.
Everybody is we are learning ప్రభుజీ.
So now, who is going to do all the 5 slokas with good pronunciation?
Let me do, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
कार्पण्य दोषो पहाता स्वभावा पृच्छामि त्वं धर्म समूढ़ चेता यश्रेयस्यानिशितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यास्ते हमसादिमं त्वं प्रपन्नम्. Now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of my miserly weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me.
Sloka number also you have to say.
Okay,
This is
Prabhuji.
2.
Now to point 13. Dehi no asmin yatha dehe kaumarav yovanam jara tatha dehantra prapti dhiras tatra namuhayati. Translation. As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such changes. 2.30. Na jayate mriyate va kadachin nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuya ajo nitya sasvatyam purano na hanyante hanyamane sarire. Prabhuji, the meter was not good here.
సూపర్ ప్రభుజీ, చాలా బాగుంది.
Thank you, Mataji. Translation. For the soul, there is neither birth nor death at any time. He has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. 2.44. भोगैश्वर्य प्रसक्तानां तयापहर्ता चेतसां व्यवसायत्मका बुद्धि समाधौ न विधीयते. Translation: in the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence, and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination for devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. 3.27 प्रकृतेः क्रियामणानि गुणे कर्माणि सर्वशः अहंकाराभिमूढ आत्मा कर्ताहम् इति मन्यते. The spirit soul, bewildered by the influence of false ego, thinks himself the doer of activities that are actually carried out by the three modes of material nature. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Mata, is any Mata you want to do? Let us do one more time and we'll go to new verse.
Can I do it, Prabhuji? Can I do it?
Yeah, please do it. 2.7.
2.7. कार्पण्यदोषोपहत स्वभाव पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेता यश्रेयस्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम्. Translation: Now I am confused about my duty, and I have lost all my composure because of my miserly weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. 2.13 Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tatha dehantara prapte dhirastatra namuhyati. Translation: As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. 2.20 Na jayate mriyate va kadachin nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuya ajo nitya shashvatoyam purano nahanyate hanyamane sharire. Translation: For the soul there is neither birth nor death at any time. He is not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. 2.44 Bhogaishvarya prasaktanam taya pahrita chetasam vyavasayatmika buddhi samadhau na vidhiyate. Translation: In the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence, and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination for transcendental for devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. 3.27 Prakrite kriyamanani gune karmani sarvasha ahankara vimoodatma kartaham iti manyate. Translation: The spirit soul, bewildered by the influence of false ego, thinks himself the doer of activities that are actually carried out by the three modes of material nature. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Let us go to new verse. Okay. Yeah, this is very, very important. Fourth verse, fourth chapter, second verse. Okay. Yesterday, similarly, let us do. I will recite first one line, then 2 lines, then 3 lines at a time. All the sloka at a time. Okay. Please repeat after me. Okay. Evam parampara praptam.
Evam parampara praptam.
Imam rajarshayo viduhu.
Imamam rajarshayo viduhu.
Sakale neha mahata.
Sakale neha mahata.
Yogo nasta parantapa.
Yogo nasta parantapa.
Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo.
Praptam.
Two lines. Okay.
Evam parampara praptam imam
rajarshayo viduhu.
Emam parampara praptam imamam rajarshayo viduhu.
Sakale neha mahata yogo nasta parantapa. Okay, 3 times I'll do. Later, one time I'll do word by word translation, and then let us do one complete ones. Okay, let me do. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshyo viduhu sakale neha mahata yogo nasta parantapa. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshyo viduhu sakale neha mahata yogo nasta parantapa. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshyo viduhu sakale mahata yogo nasta parantapa.
Evam parampara
Thus,
praptam evam
Evam thus
rajasya
para by disciplic succession, Praptam received Imam, this signs, Raja Rishaya, the saintly kings, Viduhu understood, Saha, that knowledge, Kalena, in the course of time, Iha, in this world, Mahata, great, Yogaha, the signs of one's relationship with the Supreme, Nastaha, scattered, Parantapa, O Arjuna, subduer of the enemies. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. This supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession, and the saintly kings understood it in that way. But in course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it is appears to be lost. Yeah, another 2 minutes. One more.
Prabhuji? Can I recite, Prabhuji?
Parampara praptam.
Recite Mataji 4.2.
एवं परंपरा प्राप्तम् इमं राजसयो विदु सकालेन माता योगो नष्ट परन्तपा. Translation. This supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession, and the saintly kings understand it in that way. But in course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it is appears to be lost.
Right. Prabhu, one Prabhu.
Shall I try, Prabhuji?
Yeah.
Evam parampara praptam imam rajasryo vidhu sakalene amahata yogo nishta parantapa. The supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession, and the saintly kings understood it in that way. But in course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it is appears to be lost. Hare Krishna, Roji.
Hare Krishna. One last. Anybody likes to do that? And one.
Want me to try, Prabhu?
Yeah, please, Prabhu.
Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshyo vidhu sakale neha mahata yogo nasta parantapa. The supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession, and the saintly kings understood it in that way. But in course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it appears to be lost.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Mataji. Let us meet tomorrow. Okay? Pancha kalpatra kripa sindhu evacha patitana pavan Ananta Koti
Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
Prabhupada Gaura Hari Premanande
Hari Bol.
very much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. This Saturday we are doing Ramakatha in our house. So if anybody should all come and join. We are doing it. We are inviting few Green Grace families. We are expecting at least 20-25 Green Grace families. So yes, it will be. I'm trying to do it in English. We'll see how it will go.
What time, Prabhuji?
Evening, Prabhu. Evening 5:30 to 8:30. 1 hour there will be kirtans. The people in apartment complex are going to sing few Tyagaraja kirtans and Ramadas kirtans, and then we do Ramakatha. And we will do 1 or 2 Harinam Sankirtan, and then for 5 or 10 minutes, and then we'll do Ramakatha.
So Ramakatha discourse is none other than our dear Subbarao
Hare
Kattamurthy.
Rama, no. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to do some katha. So yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, this Sunday we have classes in the morning because Praveen gave that service regarding service.
Sunday morning class, as of now, it is there, Prabhu. We were wind up the class by 9:30. They have Kalyanam from 10:30 onwards there, basically. So we will get final data tomorrow. But otherwise, as of now, there is class Sunday morning.
Okay. Because in temple also there may be programs.
That's sorry, yes. In temple only at 10:30 they have Kalyanam. Prabhu.
Okay.
In
So just I
Sankara,
wanted to give count for that. Praveen Prabhuji is he asking for service, right, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
So Sankatarana temple also there is a program, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Sunday morning there is a Kalyanam there at 10:30 onwards.
They are doing their committee
Temple
doing
program. There's the temple program, not our program. We have Kalyanam at Green Grace on Sunday morning from 10 o'clock onwards.
Yeah, Trendset also there.
Yeah, Trendset also. Green Grace is a grand program, Prabhu. Normally 300 to 400 people will come there.
And even Avatar also, I think Milan Prabhu they are doing it.
No, Maham Krishi, he's doing similar program, same time as Saturday evening. Saturday evening, there is a class there and there's a class at our house.
Praveen Prabhuji is also doing, right? Prabhu?
That's on Sunday morning, Prabhu. Praveen Prabhu's class is on Sunday morning.
Okay.
And then Subbarao Prabhu on Saturday evenings.
Yes.
Right? And Green Grace is a big program there, 300 families will come. So
300 people will come. 300 people.
That's nice.
100 plus families will be there for Kalyan. So
I'll
Sunday morning, Praveen Prabhu's is there, and then Santosh Aditya is also doing Katha online based.
Haribol. I will do service there in temple. different.
Oh, you are at the temple that day, Sunday morning, Prabhu?
Normally my service is Saturday night and Saturday Brahmachari Ashram. And
so Saturday, will you be able to come here, Prabhu?
Saturday, no. Saturday night, yesterday Mataji,
yes.
Nirupa Mata said to Lavanya, so they will come.
Okay.
I think Loesh Prabhuji is also doing.
Yes, Prabhu. Probably he's doing. Because the goal was all 10 preachers should be doing something is what Nilam Prabhuji thought. So that's what we're trying to do. We should do all that like that, simultaneously, 10-15 classes.
Hare Krishna. Have a happy Krishna.